And welcome. In this edition of Clearly Community, we're joined by Michelle Glazier. Michelle is Vice President of the Arthritis Foundation of Michigan. This is Arthritis Month. May is Arthritis Month, and we're pleased to catch up on a number of issues that are important to the Arthritis Foundation and things you should know as well, too, because this is one of those diseases that just does not have the kind of attention and awareness, perhaps, that it really should. And that's why Michelle Glazier is doing what she's doing as Vice President of the Arthritis Foundation Michigan. This is a disease that impacts children, which surprises a lot of people as well, and adults. So, Michelle, first of all, it's great to catch up with you, and thank you for taking the time to talk with us.
Thank you for taking the time to have us, Phil.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the state of arthritis and specifically the battle you're fighting on two fronts, not only for research and for more treatments and maybe someday a cure. In terms of awareness, just educating the public about how far and wide encompassing this disease is. How goes the battle, if you will?
Well, the battle is one of those where we have to consistently attempt to dispel the myth that arthritis is just a condition of aging. In fact, arthritis really has no boundaries. It can affect a child as young as 6 months old and obviously affect adults into their aging age. And we're talking about 100 different forms of arthritis. So whether it's rheumatoid arthritis, juvenile arthritis, osteoarthritis, arthritis affects 31% of the population, 50 million Americans and 300,000 kids. Right here in Michigan, it's 1 in 4 adults, and we have 10,300 children that we're aware of that have juvenile arthritis. And Phil, that's actually more children than those with juvenile diabetes and cystic fibrosis combined. What else is really interesting is how arthritis affects those in the prime of their life. 33% of working-aged individuals between the ages of 18 and 64 report limitations due to arthritis. So it's not only impactful in terms of someone's quality of life, it's incredibly costly.
Well, I was just going to say, I have a stat here which is staggering. Arthritis costs the U.S. economy $128 billion. In fact, more than $128 billion annually. That is a staggering number, Michelle.
Oh, without a doubt. And as a matter of fact, there was a Remington report released in December that listed osteoarthritis second to live births as the most expensive condition billed to private insurance.
How are we doing in terms of the treatment for children? I know diagnosis is sometimes a slow process, but in terms of juvenile arthritis, I know you've got a program you're working with the Centers for Disease Control. Let's talk a little bit about children, because there may be some people listening to us, grandparents and parents of kids who were just diagnosed with juvenile arthritis. What kind of progress are we making there?
Well, one of the things that has happened over the course of the last 10 years is there is a new drug for rheumatoid arthritis in general that relate to both adults and children. And they're called biologic agents. There are several on the market now, and they are really life-changing drugs for people with rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, juvenile arthritis, and so forth. Some of those drugs are not approved for children. And what we've been doing is we are funding the Child Arthritis and Rheumatology Research Alliance, otherwise known as CARA. Researchers are developing a centralized registry with medical data from children who have arthritis and studying this information to find treatments that are quicker, safer, and more effective. Obviously, what we're looking at is the fact that we know that there's got to be a genetic predisposition. We just don't know what that is yet. We don't know what it is, and we don't know what triggers it. So that's why the CARA registry is in process to collect that kind of data and allow researchers the opportunity to look into that further.
So the better data we have, obviously, the more effective that research will be in looking at juvenile arthritis.
Absolutely.
One of the things that is exciting this month, and May is Arthritis Awareness Month, the Arthritis Foundation is working with the Centers for Disease Control to give anybody who's interested in one a physical activity starter kit. This is through the end of May. This kit includes a pedometer, a physical activity starter guide, education pamphlets, information on how you can educate yourself about arthritis, and exercise programs in the community, and some other items, including some coupons. One of the things that's really always in the news is the benefit of exercise, but the benefit of exercise for people with osteo and even rheumatoid arthritis. Is that safe to say?
Absolutely. Phil, it's really interesting. 25, 30 years ago, with a diagnosis of any form of arthritis, you would have been told to not exercise and given a prognosis of disability as time went on. Now, without a doubt, we are 100% aware of the fact that physical activity is very important to keep your joints flexible, to keep your muscles strong around your joints, and actually serves as a pain reducer as well.
So in terms of getting these kits, I've got a toll-free number here. Is that the best way? If somebody wants to take advantage of one of these kits, they can just call the toll-free number?
Yes, that is the best way, 855-529-2728. And again, they're available through the end of May.
All right, these are physical activity starter kits. That's what you would like to request. And what a great time. It doesn't have to be January to make that resolution to get out and move. Now that we're not dealing with 35 inches of snow on the ground outside your house, there's no reason not to get out and be active and enjoy spring and summertime in West Michigan. Speaking of being active, you've got a walk coming up in Traverse City. There are a lot of people listening to us throughout the Western Michigan region that have friends and relatives, and maybe they vacation up north, and that walk is actually, it's the weekend after Memorial Day weekend, so it's May 31st, Saturday, May 31st in Traverse City, and then another walk this fall in Lansing. And I understand the Grand Rapids walk just last weekend on May 3rd raised nearly $85,000, so congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
How do people get involved and sign up, get a team together for the walks?
They can easily go on our website. They would go to the Arthritis Foundation website. They would go to Michigan, and they would be able to see the Arthritis Walk. And it takes you step by step how to register for any one of these walks. As well, Phil, on that website, in that same place where you're going to see Welcome to Michigan, there's also another link that says, click here for most up-to-date programs. And when you look, you'll also see aquatics, Tai Chi, Walk with Ease, exercise. If anyone wants to click on those links, it'll give them all those program locations throughout West Michigan.
I was going to say those are specific to West Michigan, and wherever they may be listening, they can get that information. And I would assume, too, Michelle, when you're involved in one of those programs, chances are you'll be able to talk to and learn from other people who are living with arthritis.
Oh, absolutely. That's another whole issue related to arthritis is isolation. It's getting better, but with something like arthritis, there comes a stigma. And many people feel like it's not something you should talk about because it isn't treated as seriously as some other conditions, when in fact it is as serious, if not more, sometimes. So the fact that you're able to associate to other people dealing with the same condition is also very beneficial for your quality of life and your improved health.
Yeah, and the fact that remains is that advancements are being made thanks to the efforts and the research and just the unending goal of trying to find a cure to arthritis, try to make this a more livable condition. And that's all thanks to the Arthritis Foundation, both nationally and here in Michigan. Michelle Glazier is Vice President of Arthritis Foundation of Michigan. You can get to their website at arthritis.org. That's arthritis.org. Michelle, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks again for having me, Phil. Have a great day.
And you're listening to Clearly Community here on this Clear Channel station. There's more coming up in just a moment.